thing to do. Fox News alert now that Joe Biden's dropping out of the race. There's a growing call for him to leave the White House right now. In our exclusive interview with Trump and Vance, they laid it out. Invoke the 25th Amendment.
Is it a coup against Joe Biden?
It's sort of, yeah.
I think it is. I mean, look, there's a constitutional process, the 25th Amendment. If Joe Biden can't run for president, he can't serve as president. And if they want to take him down because he's mentally incapable of serving, invoke the 25th Amendment. You don't get to sort of do this in the most politically beneficial way for Democrats. If it's an actual problem, they should take care of it in the appropriate way.
Here now, Martha MacCallum and Trey Gowdy. Martha, do you think they'd do that? I feel like he's been through enough, but it is the right thing to do.
Well, Jesse, I think what you're going to see, I just saw the schedule for this week. It looks like there's no events on it. I think you're going to see such a hard pivot to the Vice President, Kamala Harris. I think that it's going to be done that way in all but 25th Amendment names. So I think that they'll see that it behooves her to take the lead. I think you're going to see a very aggressive travel schedule for her. I guarantee she's going to be back in Pennsylvania, where she's been a lot. She's going to be in Georgia. She's going to be in Nevada, Arizona. Those are the places where they feel like they can gain traction with her. And I think you're going to see a very quiet President Biden. I thought it was so strange today, Jesse, this statement that came out with no picture attached, nothing attached to it. And then I thought it was also so interesting that in the statement, he just said she did a great job as vice president. Then a minute later comes the endorsement. And I really think that that kind of communications is because he wants to separate that statement, which will someday go in his presidential library. He wanted to keep it separate from his endorsement of Kamala Harris, waiting to see how it all goes.
If it was a video, Trey, it would have been a hostage video. He doesn't want to go out and talk to us about this. He didn't want to write the letter. He may have not even written the letter. He may have just signed it. We don't even know what's going on behind the scenes.
I think what happened is, he said he would drop out if he heard the voice of God Almighty. I think it was Morgan Freeman that called and tricked him into thinking that it was God. And when he finds out, he may change his mind tomorrow. Here's, the 25th Amendment, Republicans better be careful what they ask for. Would you rather run against incumbent Kamala Harris or the Kamala Harris that got the exact same number of delegates that the three of us got when she ran for president? It's just the three of us didn't run.
Martha, right now he has nothing on his schedule. Is Kamala Harris just going to campaign and Joe just stays inside? Is Kamala going to come back and be the president? I mean, who is the president right now?
I mean, it's a really good question. We have to see the president. We have to hear from him. We have to know that he's okay. He has COVID. There was reporting today that he was very angry, that he was hacking and coughing in Delaware and very angry. So first question is, how is he? Is he okay? Is the president okay? Jackie Heinrich asked Steve Ricchetti, one of his right-hand men, who was right in the center of all of this decision-making, and he said he's fine. But I think we need more proof than that, Jesse. And I think that, he said he wanted to be a bridge to the future, right? But none of this is playing out the way that Joe Biden wanted it to. So I think that you're going to see the lamest duck ever, right? I mean, this is going to be hard pivot to Kamala, and it's going to happen immediately.
It was a bridge collapse, Trey. He was not able to effectively hand this torch off. This was with a proverbial gun to his head. He didn't want to do it. He was forced into it. And now Kamala's wounded because of it, because she was a part of a ticket that was an absolute policy disaster, and she's been a laughingstock.
Yeah, if they think a cognitively declined Joe Biden is a drag on the ticket, wait till they hear a lucid Kamala Harris. You got the border, you got the fact that she single-handedly killed criminal justice reform. So you talk about African-American voters, particularly men. The reason you don't have criminal justice reform is because of Kamala Harris. And if you care at all about the Middle East, she is the least pro-Israel Democrat that I know. So I'm not sure that a Joe in decline would not be less of a drag than a lucid Kamala Harris.
Yeah. It looks like the Trump campaign, if there was one person they'd rather run against besides Biden, it's probably her. And they may have gotten their wish, but who knows what types of shenanigans they pull out of Chicago. It's still an open convention. Martha, Trey, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jesse.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.